Alrighty. Well, yeah, Canada now, well, for a long time now, actually, we've had a globalist government. Um, our newest Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is 100% globalist. Like, there's nothing there in him but globalism. And it's an evil thing. Globalism is an evil thing. Mark Carney, by association, is a very evil person. There's no other way to put it. The man is just ate up with evil and corruption. And yeah, I I'm at the end of my rope. Basically, I don't know how much more they can do to us, but I'm sure they've got plans, and they're telling us they've got plans. They want to phase out gasoline-powered vehicles completely. That's one of their plans. And people in Canada don't seem to understand. They're questioning it. They're saying, well, how do they expect us to buy these electric cars? And we don't have the grid to support them and all the rest of it, which is true. We don't. But this is where people are getting the wrong idea. They don't actually expect us all to buy electric cars. What they expect really is that all of us will be dead soon. They want to kill off most of us. And they want to put the remainder of us in these new smart jail cities. And so there won't be any reason to have a vehicle, and there won't be any provision made for you to have a vehicle in one of these new cities they're creating. Because basically the idea is that whatever they decide you need, whatever services the powers that be decide are necessary for you, will be within a 15-minute walk of your assigned living quarters, whatever tenement apartment they put you in. And so you're not going to need a car to go on a 15-minute walk. And there's not going to be any provision made in these cities. In fact, there isn't. If you look at the way the cities are designed, there is no provision made for the elderly or for the handicapped. Everybody who is allowed to live in these cities is going to be healthy and strong, or they're not going to be there. Well, where are they going to be? There won't be any other place for you. So where are you going to be? You're going to be dead is where you're going to be. The same spirits that are behind globalism, the same evil spirits, the same demonic entities, demonic spirits that are behind globalism, those same spirits were behind Nazism back in the 1930s and 40s in Europe. It's the same spirits. See, the people, they die. We executed a bunch of Nazis after the war. A bunch of others just aged out and died. There's hardly anybody left alive now who was an adult in the 1940s. You'd have to be around 100 years old or better to have been an adult in the 1940s, really. Very few people lived that long. So there's just a handful of people left from that era. And even people who were children in the 1940s now are advanced in years. They're now up in their 80s and so on, And so basically, they're up in their late 70s or beyond. So the ones who were children in the 40s. So basically, the people die off like any of these ones that were Nazis over in Europe. They were either put to death after the war by judicial execution, or they lived the rest of their lives, however long that was for them, and they died. But the spirits don't die, the spirits continue. If you get somebody who's possessed with an evil spirit, when they die, the evil spirit leaves the body and moves on to another body, is what it does. It doesn't die with them. And so what's happened is the same spirits that were behind Nazism in the 30s and 40s are now behind globalism. And that's why there are so many parallels. That's why there's so much talk about certain people, um, certain groups of people being undesirable and needing to be eliminated, and so on. Like useless eaters, basically. There's a brand of Fabian socialism that's prevalent um, within globalism. We'll look after you at least to a minimum standard as long as you're of use to us. Oh, I gotta go. I'm getting a call. Bye for now.